What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie. I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. We have an absolutely massive collection to share with you guys today. We've been doing buying collections. You can reach out to me at KitchenTableTCG@gmail.com. If you want to sell a collection, check out how crazy this collection is. So this is James and Andrew's collection all the way from Oregon. Drove 20 hours to drop off this crazy Magic the Gathering collection. Some sealed stuff, but vast majority of this Commander staples. This box right here is, according to their list, around $85,000 to $90,000 market price of cards, and then there's some other small lists as well. Just an absolute home run of a collection. These are all the cards under $2. These are all the kind of more expensive cards you can see. They've gone through this, and this is the green cards, $8.50 to $52, that kind of stuff. And then just some other lists and stuff, and the bulk, absolutely crazy collection. So we're going to organize all this stuff. Let's take a look at this colorless artifact first. So James made the trip up, and we were talking about all the fun times him and his son had playing, and it's just time to exit the hobby. Although he was still opening some Final Fantasy boxes on the trip up, he said. So very cool collection, very cool cards. There's a Mana Crypt here, Scroll Rack, Mana Web, Dublin Cubes, Dark Steel Forges, Aimlets, Sensei's Divining Top, some more tops, Shadow Sphere. That's a card that keeps just going up. They probably will reprint that eventually. Mana Vaults. You've got some Exploration. These are the kind of cards we kind of went through just to verify that what he said was what he had. Chalice of the Voids, Mana Vaults, Ulamogs, more Chalice of the Voids. Absolute home run collection here. Huge cards. Very, very cool. Really interesting to talk to some people who've been playing Magic the Gathering for a long time. He kind of joked that he's sold his collection a few times. This is the collection that him and his son kind of acquired and grew over the years of playing. They told a cool story about playing over at Black Dragon Games, 2.5 day tournaments, waking up early in the morning to get to the events and playing late into the evening, Phyrexian Altars. It was just cool to hear his stories and hear him and his son talk about the card game that they grew really close together playing. And now, son's off in college, and it's just time to exit and to get out of it. So really, really cool stuff, cool cards. We did run into, just kind of when we were going through, a couple of fakes that they had bought off of eBay. It was a Mox Opal, and that kind of stinks. Here's another box we'll go through too while we're thumbing through. Sheoldred, the Apocalypse, man, absolute home run cards. That's the Phyrexian foil. I'm not a big fan of cards being in top loaders when we get them in like this. Here's your Mox Opals. So it's interesting, they buy cards on TCG Player, on eBay, and all the things. I just kind of look through the higher end cards for them because we're still working on the final, transaction and that kind of thing. And these opals just a little bit too shiny, but very, very, very good fakes. Now, they did not pass the green dot tests where you put the loop on the green dot and there should be a four red dots making an L. They don't pass that, but you can see it kind of, it was kind of easy to tell just based on the sheen of the cards. Here's a good, typical Magic card. See how much less shiny it is. But then you can also verify this by doing a light test. The blue core is inside of a real card, and the black core is inside of a fake card. So all the high-end cards, these are the only two that kind of look off and seemed off. But we will continue to verify cards as we go through and purchase collections, just like we always do. Mox Amber with the pre-release stamp, I think that is super cool. That might be the card that I keep. I'm a big fan of Dominaria. Mondrak, Smothering Tide, Anime, Borderless, Vorniclex, Hunted Hoarder, a Confetti Foil Land Tax, Commander's Plate. If you're interested in any of these cards, you can go shop at KitchenTableTCG.com, where we do sell all of our cards. And you can also reach out to me if you want to sell a collection there as well. So, lots of cool stuff. Absolute, this is just the surface of the volume of cards. I think this first list which was like the big list had like 9,000 cards on it. So it'll take us a while to process through this stuff and to get it all listed. But 9,000 cards, 10,000 cards, and then there was like 4 or 5 other smaller lists. Plus then all the bulk, all the sealed product. Just an absolute crazy collection. So man, James, thank you for making the trip all the way from Oregon to West Virginia to sell. Typically people will just ship their cards, but he, obviously a collection this valuable, didn't want to do, but there was also just so much bulk. He just felt like it was easier just to make the trip. So it's fun to hang out a little bit and talk and hear the story. Man, that's really cool. Magicthegathering.com promo, Steward of Valoron. Really cool to just make the trip and hear the story, and I appreciate you, my friend. Wandering Emperor, Sliver Overlord from the Secret Lair, Ancient Copper Dragon. And we'll finish it off. Force of Negation, the Thalia. Oh, he was also, they were really good. He said he won that 64-person tournament, so I think they were also like good Magic players. Oh, look at that miscut. Oh, I didn't even see that. Never mind, this is the card I'm keeping. Holy moly. That's that's probably not factory cut. I bet you that's a non-factory cut. So somebody bought an uncut sheet and cut that out. That's crazy still. Put that on a deck. Meat Hook Massacre. Very, very cool stuff. And again, very cool to get to buy collections. We'll probably continue to show you off this as we go. This is an interesting collection because he actually already had lists made, which usually I don't like. But with a collection this size, he definitely wanted to do it. Some people like to know exactly what their collection is and exactly what the cards are before they send it. Other people are okay with us doing the work. You've seen us go through the process we have of de-sleeving cards, conditioning, scanning, verifying. You know, we use the Sort Swift and the TCG machines and the Ricoche, whatever. We do this as our typical thing. But for this guy, he actually had a lot of the work already done. And so we are going to do something different. We're going to sort the cards first. Then we're going to use these lists to verify. And then we will condition and verify the foils and the sets on all those things. And then you can actually upload directly from the TCG Player app. This is just the TCG Player app here. So we're going to give this a shot on the smaller lists, the Tarkir list, and this other list from his son, and the $2 list. We're going to try scaling it up to see if it works before we do this process on this bigger list. And this will avoid us having to unsleeve and then re-sleeve the cards, which takes up a ton of time. All right, I'm actively going through the cards and taking them out of those boxes. You can see we have 5,000 count boxes here of the cards that were in the bigger side of the collection. Give you a little scale of this. Lots of Ancient Copper Dragons, Deflecting Swats, Dockside Extortionists, just stacks and stacks of cards that are good and high sellers. All these cards are over the dollar threshold, that kind of thing. These are all full of top loaders that we had to untop loader. And we are alphabetically sorting all those cards right over here. Lots of stuff going on to buy this massive collection. These are all empty top loaders from empty top loadering this collection. There's a lot of work that goes into buying these collections. Woo! All right, I don't know where we are in this video. It's been a whole week of buying this collection. This is the large list. This is about, I think it was 9,000 unique cards and probably like 12,000 different cards. This thing is taking us a ton of time to go through. But I think it was well worth it. It's a fun collection to go through. Very, very cool. And, you know, a couple of thoughts on this whole process. It was much different of a process than we typically do. The sleeves really would have been a big issue had we not found ways around using the resources we had. And one of the things I keep learning about owning a business and going through this whole thing is like, just being adaptive is super important. So I think we did a pretty good job of adapting and using TCG Player app that we already had some of the data from and just checking it rather than having to fully de-sleeve and put everything through the sorter and all the things. It's really interesting to know at this scale, you can still use basic TCG Player app tool rather than using the big machines and the things that we already do. I think I prefer to do it the other way, where we're using the machines and we have a system and whatever. But when push comes to shove, you can make it work with whatever you have. And I think we did pretty well. I think we did pretty good. So this is a really interesting collection. It probably took us, I would guess 50 to 60 of my employees' hours. I don't really calculate my own time, because sometimes I'm just doing it for a little bit. Sometimes I do it for a long time. It's harder for me to calculate my own time. Probably 50 to 60 of my employees' hours, maybe even up to 70 hours of time to go through this thing and to get it organized. There's still plenty of money on top of that for us to be made. But the real big win for me on a collection this size, I think we actually paid a little bit higher than we typically pay for this collection in order to get a $100,000 collection, 20,000 cards. One of the reasons I'm okay with that in a situation like this is because it's good work for my employees in the future. And a lot of the time, YouTube channels will just talk about, oh, this is the next big set, this is the next big thing, this is what you should be buying, this is what. But at the end of the day, it's not just me here at Kitchen Table Cards and Games. I've got 5 employees that I want to make sure I have work for. And as much fun as it would be to just talk about Magic the Gathering, one of the biggest points about buying this collection for me, one of the biggest wins for me, was the security that it's going to take us, it'll take us 6 months to sell all these cards. It's not like tomorrow all $100,000 worth of cards are going to sell. This is 4 to 6 months worth of work for the employees who rely on me. I rely on them, to do the work and to get things done, whatever. But they also rely on me to come up with things for them to do so that I can pay them, so that they have a job and that kind of thing. So the security of a collection like this, the size, was very valuable to me. And then, I do like the story of a guy playing Magic with his kid and moves off to college, and it's just time to sell and it's time to do. There's ebbs and flows. I made a joke with them that I said, James, I've sold my Magic collection 3 times. Like, I get it. People go through different seasons of life and that kind of stuff. So all in all, very, very fun, very, very cool. I love buying Magic cards, love buying collections. It's kind of funny, he did end up wanting that Ugin back that I showed in the beginning of the video. That was going to be my card that I kept from this collection. So I don't know what I'll pick up from the rest of the collection. I'll have to go through. I'm working on the Yashola Commander deck, so maybe I'll see if there's a cool Smothering Tide or something else in Esper that I want to pick up for that deck, so that every time I play it, I can remember this huge collection all the way from Oregon. So that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be kind to the people around you. If you're ever looking to sell your collection, reach out to me at KitchenTableTCG@gmail.com, and we can send you our rates and that kind of stuff. I think it worked out pretty well for everybody in this case, and have yourselves a great day. Be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.